astrologer Wonder Girl, and I'm here to give you your weekly forecast for the week of Monday, June 26th to Sunday, July 2nd. Now this horoscope is for my entrepreneurs, my CEOs, my business owners, my artists, makers, creators, anyone who's got like a talent, a skill, something that they have that they want to offer to the world to make money, to make the world a better place, something along those lines. I'm here to give you just solid strategies on how you can do that, how to work with your money and your resources and your people, just so that you can move forward and create kind of the best business possible and do it from a way that's in touch with your heart and soul and who you are and just where your life is going. Okay, so that's what this is for. Now let's go ahead and get started. This week is a week that I think is going to be a big time for you to come to terms with, and for your people to come to terms with all the changes that you've been making in the company, with the direction of the company, with where the company is going, with things like that. I think in the past few months you've been restructuring your business in a major way, changing people, changing projects, changing your goals and where it is that you're heading in a lot of ways. And I think this week is the week you need to come to terms with it. You need to step into these changes, accept them, make sure everyone else is okay with them, and start living them. All right, the past few months have been about us constantly readjusting and changing things and, you know, trying to figure things out. And I think this is the shift point this week, you know, where it's like, okay, you know who you want to be, all that stuff has happened, now you need to live the changes, put the changes in action and really own them in order to get the good stuff out of them and to move up in the world and to get the reputation that you want the company to have. Now it could be a little bit difficult getting there, however, because before we get to this like really great aspect at the end of the week where it's all about owning and accepting these changes that you've kind of come into, for better or for worse, I think we've got some kind of frustrating aspects at the beginning of this week and a little bit last week. Okay, I think we've been trying to get some insights about the business, okay, about where the business is going, about how you can innovate in order to reach your goals and do something new or something different. Also about how you can maybe work with people in the industry too. I think there's been a lot of thoughts going on of you trying to figure out, okay, how can I get the help that I need? How can I do something new really to get me to the place that I want my company to be, and what risks do I need to take? How can, you know, we express, you know, as a business just what makes us unique in some way? And I think you've been getting maybe some of these answers, but these answers have been a little slower than you would have liked about where the company is going, about what the company is good at. I also think maybe some of these answers weren't quite what you were hoping for when you were getting feedback from people within your company, and of course thinking about where your business is going yourself. I think you realized maybe some things you wanted to do that were important projects to you, maybe you couldn't do them or couldn't do them in the way that you wanted to do them, and maybe had to also make one more or a few more readjustments to things before you could really, you know, kind of step into these changes and be more comfortable and confident with it. Okay, I think that's been a little bit hard for you, and I think we come into this week still feeling a little frustrated that it's taken us so long to get here, and that it's been so challenging of a process. And if you're not frustrated, then maybe the people that you manage are really frustrated kind of about all the changes that have come on. Okay, so that's where we are this week. Just to go through each of the aspects, we do start out the week feeling, I want to say, a little frustrated about our people, the people that we manage, the people that you work with, maybe about your money and your resources and what they're going to in the company. Okay, I think that could be a little bit difficult. As that's happening, I think you're also trying to maybe communicate about some innovations, some things you want to do, also get some insights there about what's going on, maybe it being difficult in some way for you to communicate or think about where the company is going, the risks you want to take, how you want to, you know, use all these maybe innovations and connections and cool things that you're doing to really move yourself forward in the direction that you want to go in. All right, I think you might have to work some things out there or be patient to figure out how exactly all the pieces are going to fit into place. I think while you're trying to move and the company is trying to move forward to expand and to bring a lot of good things to you, I think there may be some obstacles coming in some way, maybe a little bit difficult for you to try to do these new things that you want to do, or do these different things to really be able to move up and get good things from them and increase your income and money flow and that kind of thing. I think maybe there's some frustration there, like, why isn't this working? Okay, there could also be some confusion about what's going on and what's happening, and needing to really be patient and wait for insights to come to you, okay, instead of going out actively to meet them in order to figure out what's happening. Okay, I think that's a lot of it. Then when we get to the middle of the week, that's when your mind kind of starts to shift on, and you begin to communicate more with people inside the company and in yourself about what exactly is going on and is happening, okay? Because we do have Mercury turning on and making some aspects to Jupiter and Neptune, where Mars was last week, making these same aspects. So I think you want to think about what was going on last week, what was hard for you to do or confusing in some way. And I think this week, especially on Wednesday, when Mercury and Mars come conjunct, is when you're going to need to start engaging your mind and engaging the company in conversations to figure out, okay, how can we make sense of everything that we've learned, of everything that's come to us, of everything that we've tried to do, so that we can move forward in a way that makes sense, and that is powerful, and that is productive, and that can really put things in the right perspective, okay? So I think the middle of the week is a good time to communicate with people and to kind of adjust everyone's perspectives to make sure that they're thinking about things in the right ways and aren't kind of upset or lost or confused about everything that's gone on in some ways. It doesn't mean to be rigid about things. It doesn't mean to force your way of thinking on others. It just means to do your best to facilitate conversations that can encourage learning, increase learning, and open people's minds and perspectives to other ways of thinking that aren't so negative, okay? That's because at the end of the week, when we do have these strong Pluto aspects coming in, there's going to be lots of power, I want to say, lots of passion in some ways, lots of excitement. You know, I don't know if I would say that Pluto is all about excitement. It can be, you know, it can be very excitable in some way, but it's normally like a very deep, intense excitement, okay? And so when that aspect comes in at the end of the week, I think it's going to be important to have worked out all of these issues with the mind early on, okay? Because when we have Pluto involved, you can get some very strong emotions that people don't know what to do with, okay, in a lot of ways. And this is going to be a lot to do about the changes that the company is making and how you communicate about these changes and how people are talking about the changes, as well as how they're acting on all of these things that have gone on in the company, okay? So I think that this week, if you don't put things in the right perspective, there could either be a tendency for people to want to, you know, people to love the changes and to want to go forward moving on this mission, but maybe not knowing quite how to channel all of this passion and all of this information that they've received about these projects in the right way, okay? So maybe being too hasty and diving into projects too much without thinking about them in the right way. I think there could be a very real tendency for either you or someone in your company to do that this week, okay, and getting a little over your head because you didn't take your time doing it. I think there's also that, and I think there's also the opposite aspect too that could come up, where you don't dive in and you stay back and you wait because you're upset that things didn't turn out the way that you wanted, or people and the company are upset that the way things were no longer exists, and now they have to readjust this new career, these new routines, or this new opportunities that they aren't really on board with. So I think at the end of the week and in the middle of the week, you're really going to have to work on setting the vision, setting the tone, helping people see these changes in a positive light so that they don't get lost in how uncomfortable all the changes have been and how uncertain everything is, and so that they don't move very hastily forward and mess up some of the progress that you and everyone else in the company has worked so hard to build, okay? So that is what I see for you this week. Now, your card for the week is the distraction of shiny things. Upright. This is a great card. This means this week you are not playing around, okay? You're not playing around. This card is a good card because it means, especially when it's upright, because it means that you can see through all the things that aren't important, that don't need your attention, that aren't worth it, and you can see through them to what is important, what you need to focus on. I think that's the message this week, is if you are getting lost in all these shiny things that are coming up and all these emotions and feelings that you have or that other people have or things that aren't working out, I think you need to just quiet everything and just be like, okay, what's important? What do we need to focus on here? Let's forget about all the other junk that's clouding up our consciousness and see through to what's really going on. And so I think that is the message for this week for you to focus on moving forward. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on Facebook, like it on YouTube, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.